All right, let's just jump right in. There's a massive new law on the books, and it is about to completely change the game for how millions of Americans pay for college. So if you're a student, a parent, maybe you've got student loans, listen up, this is definitely going to affect you.
Wow, just look at that number. $284 billion. That's the estimated savings for the federal government over the next 10 years. And you know, this isn't just some minor tweak in policy. We're talking about a law that's going to fundamentally change how you borrow for college and how you pay it all back.
So that leads to the obvious question, right? When the government is saving that much money, you know the rules are changing for the rest of us. So where's all that cash coming from? And the big one, how is this all going to affect you and your wallet? Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we're going straight to the source. Everything we're going to talk about today is pulled from a nonpartisan report from the Congressional Research Service. And just so you know, this is the exact same analysis that members of Congress get. Our job here is just to break down what they found and make it make sense for you. All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the law itself. Then we'll dive into the biggest piece of the puzzle, the student loan overhaul. After that, we'll cover what's changing with Pell Grants, some new rules for colleges, and then we'll wrap it all up by looking at the big picture. Okay, let's start with the law itself. It's officially called Public Law 119-21. It was signed into law on July 4th, 2025. And what it does is it makes some pretty major changes to Title IV of the Higher Education Act. And that's basically the rulebook for all federal student aid. So back to that giant number, the $284 billion. Where's it coming from? Well, as you can see, it's not really an even split. The vast majority, we're talking about $271 billion, that's all coming from changes to how student loans get paid back. Then you've got another $44 billion from changing the actual loans themselves, what's available and how much you can borrow. And that right there brings us to the absolute heart of this thing, the huge overhaul of the federal direct loan program. Honestly, this is where most of you, students, families, are going to feel the biggest changes. Okay, so here's the quick and dirty summary. If you're a new borrower starting July 1st, 2026, some things are going to be very different. Grad Plus loans, gone. A lot of grad students use those to cover everything, and they're being eliminated. Parent Plus loans, they're getting new limits, and that whole complicated mass of repayment plans, it's being simplified way down to just 2 options. And when I say different, I mean it's a dramatic shift. Look at this. Grad Plus loans, which used to let you borrow right up to the full cost of school, are just gone, wiped out. Parent Plus loans, same deal. They used to cover the full cost. Now, they're capped at $20 grand a year. Now, they did bump up the unsubsidized loan limit for professional students to kind of compensate, but the bottom line is, your overall ability to borrow from the feds is getting way tighter. All right, let's talk about how your monthly payments are actually calculated. This is a big one. For new borrowers, all those old income-driven plans, they're being replaced with just one plan, the Repayment Assistance Plan, or RAP. And here's the critical difference. Before, your payment was based on your discretionary income. That's your income after a big chunk is protected based on the poverty line. But now, it's going to be based on your total adjusted gross income, your AGI. So what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, funnily enough, for some people, the monthly payment might actually go down. Check this out. If you're a single person making 50 grand a year, under the new RAP plan, you'd pay about $167 a month. Under one of the old plans, it was $221. So yeah, for some folks in the middle, this could mean a lower bill each month. But, and this is a big but, look at the lowest earners. They used to pay $0. Now they'll be paying something. Okay, but here's the trade-off, and trust me, it is a big one. The report spells it out right here. This new plan comes with a much longer timeline for loan forgiveness. The max repayment period before anything left is canceled is now 30 years. 30. That's a huge jump from the 20 or 25 years in many of the old plans. All right, so we've hit loans pretty hard, but that's not the only part of the system that's changing. This law also makes some really significant shifts for Pell Grants. And remember, those are the main way the government helps low-income undergrads with money that, they don't have to pay back. And the really big story here is actually an expansion. For the very first time, the Pell Grant program is branching out. It's moving into a whole new area, beyond just your traditional college degrees. So this is what that pivot looks like. On one hand, the law creates something called Workforce Pell Grants. Think of these as grants for short-term job training, programs that are just 8 to 14 weeks long. But on the other hand, the rules for getting a traditional Pell Grant are getting tougher. They're going to start looking at foreign income, and they can disqualify you if you have high assets, even if your income is low. Oh, and if other grants already cover all your costs, you might not get a Pell Grant at all. It's a real give and take.
Okay, so the last major piece of this overhaul is a bit different. It's not aimed at you, the student. It's aimed at the colleges and universities themselves. It introduces a whole new accountability measure, and it's called the Statutory Earnings Test.
So what on earth is that? Well, to put it simply, it's a new rule. And it says that for a college program, say a specific major, to keep getting federal student loan dollars, it has to prove that its graduates are actually financially successful. This is a huge deal. It's the first time federal funding is being tied so directly to student outcomes.
Right, but that's the key question, isn't it? How do you even measure financial success? What does a program actually have to prove to pass this test? Well, the answer is actually pretty straightforward. A program passes if its graduates, on average, make more money than people who don't have a degree at that same level. Simple as that. The whole idea is to make sure these programs are actually providing a return on your investment and, not leaving students worse off than when they started.
Phew, okay. We have covered a ton of ground. So let's take a step back, pull all these different threads together, and look at the big picture, what all of this really means for the future. So let's recap your key takeaways. Number 1, borrowing is getting tighter, period, especially if you're a grad student or a parent. Number 2, the new repayment reality. It's a simpler system for new borrowers, but it comes with a very, very long 30-year path to forgiveness. 3, the Pell Grant pivot. It's expanding into job training, but it's also getting stricter on who qualifies. And finally, number 4, program accountability. For the first time, colleges have to prove their programs actually lead to better paychecks. And all of this leaves us with one last, really big question to think about. When you put all these pieces together, tighter loan limits for individuals on one side, but this new performance test for programs on the other, it really feels like a fundamental shift. So is the government kind of shifting its bet, moving away from just funding individual students and instead betting on the proven performance of the programs themselves? And if so, what's that going to mean for the future of your education?